I mean, it's always good. Ew, ew, ew. I need to start over.
I'm like, I hope he doesn't call on me for the episode because I don't know.
Okay. Starting again. All right. Well, I'm ready if you're ready.
Let's do it.
All right. Shall we do a boop?
Let's boop it out.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Boop.
Boop.
I mean, it wasn't super in sync, but it's okay.
It was O-Town. Or wait, did we do O-Town last time?
We did.
No, we did S Club 7.
No, we did S Club 7. We did S Club 7 in episode 1. So
Okay.
at this point, we're just running out of boy bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Soul Decision. It was very Soul Decision.
Yes. Yes. And one day we're going to be so in sync that it's just going to be like Destiny's Child, like straight up.
I felt that.
Yes, but hello everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of
I had to think about it too.
Right. I am joined once again by my best friend jAsh.
Here I am.
So this is episode 3. It's been a while since episode 2. Like a little bit over a month, right?
Yeah, that's okay though.
Yeah, it's fine. But because we've been up to things in real life, and we've been working hard in this file, so it's for a very good reason. So,
yeah, as it turns out, we have IRL jobs as well.
Right. So last week or last episode, we kind of took a look at the flamingos. I guess I can kind of show like a little overview of what we looked at last time.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
Just to kind of jog everyone's memory. You're welcome.
Jogging. Yeah, so we took a look at the flamingos. We also like just talked about like the different levels of the park, which is like still one of my favorite things about this. Also you'll notice a observation tower that has
I don't know what you're talking about.
magically appeared. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, so we also took a look at I'm just gonna go over here.
They make the weirdest noise. Did you hear that?
Yeah. They do.
Kind of creeps me out.
Right. Well, you're also like very scared of birds, right?
Very much.
Yeah. So we also took a look at this area. And
love this.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I really loved
Truly.
like what truly.
Honestly? Truly.
I honestly love what we did in like the last episode. It was like, you know, I was gonna say it was one of my favorites, but we only have 2 episodes, so.
Well, it was a very good one, and it's mostly due to this is the building that you put your aquarium in. For those who might not fully remember. So this has that really cool big, like, it's not a reef. What is it? It's like a kelp farm. Not kelp. Seaweed. No.
Kelp.
What is it?
Kelp.
It's a kelp farm.
Oh my god, that was so funny. It's a kelp forest.
Forest, yes. I'm like, that stuff that grows in the sea.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, so we took a look in here last time.
So cool.
Ran a lot better on your computer, so we're just gonna speed in here really, really fast. Yes, because we weren't really planning on doing an interior in here, but I was like, nope, we need to.
Yeah, I wasn't. So I'm like, if he does, then more power to him. But I honestly would love to see more of these little like pop-up aquariums throughout the park.
Yeah, and I
think that would be cool.
I definitely think that's gonna happen for sure. Yes, and then we looked at the starfish, the little touch pools, and we kind of gave a little teaser of what's happening back there, which we have the divider down now, so you can kind of see what that is, but we're actually not going to go through that way first.
There's a lot of good stuff to see this way. You made some really cool like banner signs that are over to the left, which are like totally what you would see at SeaWorld for sure.
Right, and like these little hanging planters that like,
yeah,
they're not lights or anything. It's literally just for plants, which like you see a lot of. So
yeah. And it kind of adds that pop of color up top where everything is just like so green.
Yeah. And it makes sense that they would have those plants, like those flowers and stuff hanging there rather than like planted in the ground. I just think it's probably like maybe a little easier to take care of, I would think, but
significantly cheaper to maintain.
Yes,
for sure.
Totally. And then I love like this little peek that we still have into the exhibit that we're going to get to. So
there's a little Easter egg on the other side. Wonder what that's gonna be.
Okay, so we got really excited when the aquatic DLC came out, because that means that we could actually put some real animals in here.
Yeah.
So we kind of decided the first thing we wanted to do was add seals. I think like the both of us kind of agree that that was like the best one to start out with, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you.
Yeah. So this is Pacific Point.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. This area has been under development for such a long time.
So long.
Like it's literally been like months. Like, because we already had this area pretty much for the most part. Like everything was laid out and kind of finished when we were already recording the last episode.
I forget because it's literally been that long. We hadn't done anything with this prior to the DLC release, right? Like we pretty much started planning it out once we realized we were getting seals.
Correct. Yeah. So we didn't do anything. It came like just in the nick of time, because it honestly would have sucked if we did this and then we got the animals and like we had to completely, because you kind of have to like build it specifically for those animals, because they're kind of with those animals it's kind of difficult to build for.
Yeah, and their hitboxes can be kind of wonky. So exactly. Like if you build something under the impression that it's an implied exhibit and then you try to put like a real animal in there, you'd be shocked. You pretty much have to redo everything.
So this area is called Pacific Point. Very much stealing that name from SeaWorld, but it just works. So
yeah, it does. And I love this. You've made a nice little fountain here.
Yes. So it's a fountain and also like some, branding for the area. So you made this kind of like icon of this area, which is the lighthouse, which I love. So I just wanted to be able to kind of mimic that in the actual like branding for this area.
That's honestly, that lighthouse in the sign is probably my absolute favorite thing over here, because I would have never thought to do that, and it's like you did, and then you also basically took a copy of the main lighthouse and implemented into the sign. It's very, very cool.
There's so many like different fonts and stuff now that it's just kind of fun to like. I would never want to do my own font ever, but it's definitely kind of fun to like lay it out and kind of pretend that you're like a graphic designer or something.
And I love the little seals around it too.
Right.
It's like you know exactly what you're coming here to see. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And it's just the right amount of like, this looks a little outdated, but like they kind of repainted it and stuff, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So you kind of have two options here. You have the option to kind of go over here and you can see some like upper viewing, and then you have an option to go down here and look at some of the lower like underwater viewing, and then I guess if you want to, there's like stuff all the way around here that gives you just like a side view. So shall we go to this side first?
Yeah, let's do the left, because this will kind of give them like a point of reference in the park, because where we looked at last time with the touch pools and all of that up here, that's actually where it meets,
where it connects
here, which is cool.
So we added a very janky looking old bathroom.
I am living for these bathrooms. This is seen at every like Six Flags parks,
right?
Like period.
Yeah.
And I just know it stinks in there too.
Right. Like it stinks in there. It stinks right here where we're standing. You don't know if it's necessarily the seals or
right.
the bathroom
or the humans.
Right. Yeah. We have a little seating area. It's just, I mean, it looks so janky. Like these pink walls have no business being here, but here they are.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the intrusiveness and just the in your face that like this salmon colored like wall is.
Right.
And it honestly looks like something that was like missed by like the landscapers or the design team when they figured to like, because you see the painted brick wall behind it is painted. Mm-hmm. It's like, why wouldn't this be painted too? And it seems like it was honestly just missed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is perfectly painted and it looks great, but it's just like, yeah, but there's something that also just feels so right about this. It's like, because you would totally see that. And the pink is tied in with this little weird seating area, which is at it was like a direct rip from like the seal area in SeaWorld. It's just so weird looking. I don't even know.
It's very Pepto-Bismol realness.
Yes.
And I enjoy that.
But here's our first kind of peek into the exhibit, which
I love this.
Yeah, it is beautiful. So of course there's like no seals in the view right now.
I know. I'm like, where are they?
They're usually
jerks. They're usually like piled up over here.
Yeah, they're over here. There's like always one that's like kind of like bobbing its head over here.
Yeah, he's just kind of like floating.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many we have? I think is it like 8 that are in there?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And we do have like kind of a mix of male and female. I think we have mostly female. So you'll kind of see like back here. Which I love that this fence that you put up.
Oh, thanks.
This is just kind of like an area up here. It is not like this is not guest access up here. It's basically just for like trainers or other zoo staff. And you'll see like there's little compartments where like they can keep like their frozen fish and stuff like that. And kind of I imagine them like maybe having the seals do tricks and like they're talking from like up there.
When we get down to the underwater viewing, there's like speakers and stuff down there. So what I was thinking is whenever they're doing like feeding times, they can't see the person that is feeding them, but they can see them like drop the fish in the water and kind of see how the seals interact with one another while they're being fed.
Totally.
And side note, I don't know if you can see it, but the little fencing that I put up there, it's kind of like, it looks like it's clipping, but it's not. It's kind of like sparkling from a distance. Can you see that? So that it's intended to be almost like a mesh that would almost be like see-through. But it doesn't really read when you get close. It honestly looks better the further away that you are from it.
Oh my god. What did you use?
Commas.
Yes.
From the 2D fonts.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I have, very well, like oh my gosh. Yeah. You could totally see it right there.
Yeah. You see them. Yeah. So it's supposed to be like almost like a teal colored mesh.
Oh my God. That looks so cool. I have been a very big fan of the commas lately, and you know this.
You've honestly, I'm like, truly, I'm here. I don't know that like anybody has used the fonts the way that you have, and I think they'll see that. I don't know if it'll be episode 4. Definitely by episode 5. It blew my mind in one specific way that you use them.
Me trying to think of what you're talking about.
You can bleep it out. It's the on the little.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like yeah, and even the
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
I was I've seen so many people that have done like amazing like signs and like I guess like murals and stuff, which has been so cool. But yeah, you can totally take those letters and just do crazy things with them. So
yes, they are very, very versatile.
Definitely.
That's the word.
Yeah. Well, also like we don't have any other small pieces like that. So here's
there's one of our seals.
Yes.
I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know.
He pulled a free willy there for a minute and just like came up to the top.
I believe that this buoy is by Vigoga. That's not how you say his name though.
I think that's what I always say if it's wrong.
Okay.
I hope he or she tells us. Or
please,
they tell us.
Please.
Also super bummed because when I laid out the lighthouse, I put a bunch of flat rock there intending that they'll actually get up there and like sunbathe on it and stuff, but I haven't seen them up there.
No, they don't.
And it doesn't show it as like traversable area, which is frustrating.
So just pretend that they're all up there too. Like I actually imagine there to be way more than 8 of the seals in here, but just because of the way their hitboxes work, it's like it's just almost overcrowded for them. So this is kind of the area that you can see where it connected. It connects. So we have.
So you have a touch pull right here to the left.
The touch pull right here, which we saw last time. And then we saw these last time. Did we see your sign last time?
I can't remember. So yes, conserve water, shower together.
And I love it because it's turtles and they're like nowhere to be found in this area. So it just seems like it's so funny because it's like it just works. It just makes no sense and I love it. All right, so over here we have another viewing area. This is like the thing that's really cool about this this particular exhibit is that there's a lot of different viewpoints and you kind of get a very forced framed view, I guess, with each one. Like you can't see the whole exhibit just from one area. You kind of have to, you're forced to kind of go to these other areas, which I think like honestly is just what you're supposed to do when it comes to design with these exhibits.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, you get a great view over here.
Right? Yeah.
I love the little spotted ones.
I know. Yeah. They're so cute.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying though, because like, one of them pooped on it. Cool.
Love
jerks. If I were here, what is happening? Is he stuck?
Something.
So just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, you know, when you can see other areas, like me, I want to be like, okay, how do I get over there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
I love this.
And I just imagine it being really cool once like it's full of people and you can just see, you know, some like people like in the glass and stuff. It's just gonna look really cool. Yeah, so over here on this side they have a little like beach area. But
I love it, and we may have to look at it from overhead later, but I love because you've blended this recolorable faux rock in with the rubble pieces.
Yes.
And it has like a nice like transition into the beached area from above. It looks really, really cool.
So over here you can see that there's another like kind of like, this isn't the main viewing area over here. This is just kind of like gives you some glimpses into the exhibit over there as well. Oh, we have this like little backstage door.
Yeah.
Which is
so
awesome.
This would be for like staff and stuff that connects directly into that aquarium exhibit. I'm assuming this would kind of be a good way that they could get back behind where the octopus and those smaller exhibits in the wall were. You put like a little fenced area over here to the right, almost like where you can get over onto the rock, I guess, for like the staff.
Yeah, because they do need a way to access like this little island right here. I mean, I'd imagine maybe we probably should have put some kind of like ladder or something right there, but like whatever. Yeah. They can just scale the rocks.
Yeah, or they can just jump in the water. Who cares?
Right?
And I forget who I learned this little trick from, but that little like bubble grip ramp that's like right here on the ground.
Yes.
Somebody else did it. I just can't remember who it was, but it's like supposed to be that that like rubber grippy like thing.
And it's just a bunch of those spheres, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of art shapes.
I feel like this is very much like something that was done in like Planet Coaster, like before they started being able to develop like custom content and stuff.
I definitely did these in Planet Coaster for sure.
Yeah, and then we kind of just keep having an awesome view of this observation tower that will be shown.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't see anything at all. Big blue weenie.
Just going crazy. with this lighthouse that you made, like it's so funny, like as we're going around and building more of the park, it's funny how you can still see, and this isn't that tall.
Yeah.
It's not that tall.
It's really not. Yeah, and that's what keeps like tripping me out.
Yeah, and it's so cool how it becomes like a great sightline. And it's almost become like, I mean, like a little icon of the park, which is cool.
I basically took the design off of, I think it's SeaWorld Orlando, where you first walk in and they have like a bunch of those fake walruses and stuff. I was really trying to get that vibe with it. And again, I didn't make it big. And I think it's just because we have slight elevation changes. It still allows you to see it like in different areas in the park too. It looks really cool. But
also the fact that it's just in a very open area. Like it just makes it really easy to see. And I love it. It's so cool. Should we do this now or should we go to this side over here?
Let's save this for last because I feel like that's a pretty cool like thing to show off, and I don't want to show too much awesomeness back to back.
Yeah, we gotta let these people breathe.
Now's your chance to hit pause, get a restock on your coffee, eat that donut that's been sitting beside you for 30 minutes.
Yes, catch up on everyone else's content that they haven't been releasing because no one's playing Planet Zoo anymore.
That part.
So over here, it's just kind of like a little just path that, well, it's not a little path, it's kind of like the main path that is going past here, and you can kind of see a glimpse into the underwater viewing area. I really love like the different layers and levels that you can see.
That's one thing that you're really, really good at, because I envisioned to do like an underwater viewing area, but once I realized what kind of like commitment I was gonna have to make to it, I'm like, maybe not. And then you just did it, and it looked. I'm so glad that you did.
You know what? Like that's the one thing, and I think we always talk about like what makes this collaboration work so well, is you are 100% like amazing at like the architecture and just doing things like that. Where it's like I feel like I will commit to doing the terraforming and just making the flow work and stuff like that. So, and I guess the landscaping and stuff, but it definitely just it works,
Yeah, and then you shock me a lot, honestly, with like, I mean, I know you can do like Balboa is like a work of art in regards to like the architecture and stuff, but every now and then I'll see just like some really like janky shit that I would make, and you just like knock it out of the park, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks amazing.
I am not used to making like super janky things, so this park has been like a fun challenge in that.
And can we take a moment of silence for all of this custom curbing?
That's all you, man.
It's awful, man. Like there were moments where I cried. There were moments where I slammed my laptop lid and just walked away. And then there were moments that I just like didn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But then I had committed to it, and it honestly, it makes such a big difference to me.
It really does. And it's so funny because it's like once you do this, you're gonna have to do it everywhere. Yes. But it's okay. You also made this right. You also made this ATM, which I love.
Yeah, just very like generic,
and it's
functional.
Yeah, and it's cool because this is another one of those examples of like, oh, we can make this, and then we can also just kind of spam it around the park, like wherever it fits.
I'm sure you'll see it again. I love this little area. It gives you like just like little park vibes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that this is
like there's nothing extraordinary. Like, right, it's just a green, like grassy lawn style flower bed. But it works, and it's visually appealing.
And again, it just kind of gives you a little bit of a break visually from just all of these colors and all of this like everything that's lush. It's nice to just have this open thing of grass.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
and it allows you like a view of that building without being obstructed. So even if you come up on the back side of things, like you can still see, you have like a destination to go to.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have a destination to go to, and then by adding some of those like other paths that were like went through that way, it's like a little sense of like exploration and stuff, even though it's literally just like a cut through, which is it's important to add that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm going slow, but I just wanted to kind of like we definitely worked hard on this area, so just wanting to kind of like take it in like we're actually just walking around.
I'm speaking for myself, so I don't know if this is true for you as well, but this specific area was slow to develop for me because I had to try to fall out of that habit of, okay, what's next, like back to back exhibits, you know what I mean, and just realize that there needs to be like you said, that space to just breathe and give your eyes a rest, so to speak.
Also, we both have been like studying, that sounds so lame, but we've both been like researching like the layout of like the SeaWorld parks and other parks, and they do kind of just have a lot of just open space between exhibits. I would almost say that there's more open space than like actual exhibits. It's just a lot of just kind of like park,
a lot of
views,
a lot of hillsides, a lot of lawn plazas with like sprawling lawns and stuff, but there's a very subtle art to making it try to look as close to your reference as possible. And this is a good example over here to the left. So
yeah,
I love this.
Definitely. Yes. Okay. So this is one of both of our like favorite views. And this is actually supposed to be a more secondary entrance, or an entrance to this area. So that's why we don't have like the fountain and stuff here. It's kind of just like, you know, a dry riverbed. Because this is also like a main path that connects to this area, but I imagine that people wouldn't immediately go this way. They would probably just take the other way first, where we kind of started the video. Yeah, but I'm in love with this view too.
This is probably, I love this view a little bit more than the other side.
Same.
And to kind of like, again, piggyback off of what you were saying, if you follow like your instincts on the general layout of the park when you enter, you would more than likely come in on the other side. But I do love this view better than the other one.
Right? It's a very nice little surprise, and it's like just an amazing like vignette. Like, this is such a perfect shot. Okay, so before we kind of had this as an eating area, but we kind of just plopped some of those like those food stands, or the food carts, and it was great, but I just felt like we still needed something to kind of like ground the area just a little bit. And we didn't have any other like kind of quick service restaurant besides like the cafe, I think, at the entrance. So this was needed. It's a super simple building. It looks older, like there's the brick, and then they kind of just like, we'll paint it.
Throw a splash of color on there, they'll never know.
Right? Yeah. So I named it Palisade Pitas, which totally sounds lame to say.
Living it honestly makes me want a chicken shawarma really bad.
Right? And I was like, you know what would like, they wouldn't just have like regular, like, it needs to be something a little bit more like fun. I think I might have used like the big like parentheses or something, that are like they're like the 3D letters. I use that for the sign. And then just like some art shapes. And then I tried my best to kind of like replicate that logo in the menu that's down here.
Oh my God. I'm leaving. Grab my purse. I love that.
Yeah. So, and this is all just like those commas, and then there's like I think this is like the periods.
Yeah.
But
I love that. And then gutter pieces for probably the letters, I'm assuming.
For
maybe like the lines that are supposed to be like the text on the sign.
Yes. Yep. You are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a fun way to kind of integrate some custom stuff into here.
Yeah. And like you said before, like what we had here before was okay.
Yeah.
But if you look to the left, this is such a monstrosity of like a building that you get here, and it's like very like in your face. To have it just immediately end and just kind of like taper off with some food carts, it looked cool, but the way it just slowly like comes down structurally, I feel like looks a lot better.
Yeah, it kind of just tied the this off like well, kind of like rounded the area, because before, like you said, it was like just an abrupt end right there, and then let's just put some carts there. But yeah, this works. So I guess we can go up here, kind of show. It's just like a very little eating area. With like
nothing too crazy.
Some backstage access and stuff. There's other entries right here. We did I tried my best to make these in-game hedges work.
I love them because you gave them like, they're such a boxy, or just they're either strictly boxy or just strictly round. And I'm like, how can you make it look like they were like carved, and like manicured and stuff? And I think this is as close as we get to it.
And I will say,
and I love it.
I will say that they actually do look better in like the harsh light, because you can see a little bit more of like the angles and stuff. Because I do love the hedges that are in like SeaWorld and stuff, and you see a lot of them, and they're just kind of like on hillsides, or just like how we have them here, but they're very manicured looking, and it's really hard to get that in the game. I mean, overall, ideally, it would be nice to not have this like texture. It would be nice to have like a little bit of a better texture, but it'll do.
I mean, it sells it for me.
Definitely.
Like when I saw it, I immediately knew what you were trying to do, and it looked as good as it possibly could look in the game.
So I was not wanting to do this at all. But
me neither.
Yeah, but you did.
You and I think you and I have been talking for like 3 weeks. We're like, all right, so what else do we need to like get an episode out? And you're like, I mean, we really need like a filtration. I'm like, okay, what else do we need to get an episode out? And we literally had that conversation like 3 or 4 times.
We did, to the point where we even had a sign. I put a sign here that just said like filtration.
Filtration, question mark.
And it's like, that's my way of saying I'm not the one that's going to do it.
I don't want to do it. And I'm like, cool, me neither. So who can we make do it? But then I just like, I randomly got in the mood to do it. And I'm like, let me just do this while my creative juices are flowing.
Mm-hmm. And we had some help from the workshop, correct?
Oh, yeah. So these, this actual, like the modularized set that you see for the filtration, like the pumps and the sumps and all of that stuff, like these were made like early in the game release. So like these were made with like OG parts, and I am just like insanely impressed with the amount of detail on them.
Well, and it's crazy because they are, like you said, like they were made at the very beginning, and this doesn't look outdated. Like the thing about this game,
and it looks like an in-game like this looks like an actual asset
absolutely.
In the game. Like exactly what it's supposed to be that's what it looks like it is.
Yeah, because it's so easy for like once a new pack comes out for it to start to look outdated. But no, this, I mean, you can tell that whoever made this knows what they were doing, and the link will be in the description. We both of our Steams were not working, so like, we tried. We couldn't see who made this. This is crazy.
But just like the flanging on like the pipe, it's insane. I'm like, whoever did that, you did that.
They honestly did. And then like if you dissect it and look at it too, it's insane the pieces that they used.
Yeah, I think one of them they used what's in game. It's like a hunter green, like cage that you can put around the base of like a
tree,
little birch tree or an ash tree or something, and they actually use that that's what's creating
like this one, right?
The flanges. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god,
ingenious in the membrane.
Yes.
Yeah. So whoever did this, thank you very much.
Thank you. So this is just like that area. This is obviously where I'm assuming they would keep the seals in here at night. Like there's some pools in there and stuff, I'm assuming. This is on like the backside of the aquarium.
Yeah, so there is some hard shelter in there that would be for the seals. I didn't actually put them in there, but that's where they would be.
Okay. Yeah. I'm totally into the detailing of backstage, but at the same time, if it's not going to be seen like a lot, then we can just like make sure it's like good enough, you know?
Yeah. If we end up finding, like, if this were a location in the park to where there was like a path that was pretty like prominently above it that would look down into it, we would have obviously spent much more time. But
absolutely,
this is about the extent I'm willing to do to, work I'm willing to put in for some. You would just never see it unless you walk back there. You know what I mean? So,
and I love how this is just like there's no way of hiding this. Like it's just there, and it's it's as it should be.
So awesome. I hate doing those little vents, like the vents that you see up there in the gutters on the other side. They take so much finessing to like get them in, but I'm like, I have to do it because you can't not look at this side of the building when you're walking back here.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny because, maybe you don't realize it until you've put it in, but like once they're in, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, like that belongs there. Like that has to be there, obviously. And it's such a great like little detail. We can go ahead and make our way around here. This was that other viewing point that was kind of just like, it's kind of like the last one that you see, or I guess the first one that you see, depending on which way you enter this area.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say this isn't, like you said earlier, this isn't like the viewing area. It's just like, if you happen to see them up here on the beach, it's just cool. But this isn't intended for like a ton of people to stop and view them from.
Yeah.
Literally me right now.
Is that the pose you're in right now?
Yeah. Oh, also you can see it from this angle too. I added like some of that mossy rock at the bottom.
Yes.
Just because with the water constantly like, touching that concrete over there, you would naturally have like some organic growth on the wall there.
Some buildup.
Let me tell you, after having an aquarium for a month, that shit can happen overnight.
Yeah, it's insane. There's a lot of buildup. Even like no matter how much filtration you have or like whatever, like there's like living stuff in that water. It's gonna show for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I really dig this area too. I really like this view.
I know we have the green wall of shame over there, so you can't see anything. I haven't looked at this since mostly you started building what's on the other side. That's going to look really cool when we remove that green wall.
It does. Yeah, and I almost love that this isn't the main entrance, because it's almost like, I would just imagine, like, if you're a regular and you go to Twin Palms, it's like, dude, I know, like, the best place to view it, and, like, not a lot of people go there. You know what I mean? So this is really cool. And there are certain points of the day where, like, they're just all on here. They're just all, like, kind of, like, basking. And it's
I love how that one just poked his head up out of the water, saw us, and then ran away. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I also think that how we did this exhibit, and I think I've said this before with other ones, it kind of really helped us in laying out some of the other exhibits that are coming up. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you're working on a showstopper that's behind us right now, and I'm not ready for that episode because it's just going to be too much. Well, in a good way. It's going to be like creative mind overload. And every time I look at it, I just want to jump in the game for hours and like do work.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, honestly, and I can say the same for you with an area that's like over here. I just think that each area that we've been working on just keeps getting a little bit better and better. And it's been fun. You know, I will say that the next two exhibits that we're working on, they're very implied exhibits. So there's no real animals, but it's okay. It almost kind of gives us a way to be a little bit more creative because we're not as limited.
Yeah, we're not restricted to hitbox and exhibit requirements and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it looks super, super cool.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to show those. This is kind of like just the beginning, I think, of the stuff that we're gonna do. And I don't know about you, but like I'm not really getting super burnt out yet. Like I'm still like super pumped.
No,
and
not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. And we also discussed offline, like anytime we have a new episode comes out and we start to receive feedback on it and stuff, that's kind of when our creative kind of hits like an all-time high again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, we're definitely like not doing this for like views or whatever, but it is nice getting like that validation of like, oh, okay, like people actually do enjoy what we're working on. So it's really, and it's I love like when people are like, oh my gosh, like I've totally like been to this park, like, you know what I mean, because it's so nostalgic, you know.
That's the exact like mood that we were going for though. Totally. So I'm glad that that's like striking a nerve with folks.
Yeah, well, and what's so cool is that like, you know, me and you are from like completely different coasts, you know, so it's so cool that we have both been able to create something like this based off of kind of places that we've both been to, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I was just gonna throw out there, this is one of those times when I was telling you that you just like come in with some really like off the wall like janky shit, and I'm just all the way here for it.
Yes. If I can impress you with jank, then it's that's a goal, because you're like you're really good at that. So
what if I was like, so you agree, you think I'm janky?
Just the
and
things
just started being like a bitch to you.
You like log off.
You finished the episode all by yourself.
I don't even stop to ask if you're okay. I'm literally just like, okay, so I'm gonna keep looking over here.
I'll block you on Discord and like block your number from my phone. And then I come back like 2 weeks later, like, hey, what's that? Like nothing was ever wrong.
You're
That's
crazy.
Literally me in a nutshell.
So you might be wondering, like, why is there an elevator right here? And you know, just to be like ADA compliant, it's a way to help disabled people be able to get down to the viewing area. I mean, also there is a ramp, but you know, not everyone wants to take the ramp if they have to like, you know, push a wheelchair or even like, you know, strollers and stuff down there.
Yeah, and it's also like for like means of egress and stuff too. Like there needs to be more than that. The ramp that leads down there is pretty narrow. If you have like 30-40 people trying to come out of it at one time, like that can be not great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So actually we can kind of take a look in here.
Yeah, we can walk up here.
So this is like a little that area that I was talking before. Love this clipboard detail.
Same.
I remember when you showed that to me, I was like, oh my god. It's such a little detail.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, there is some woman, I'm assuming, and she's like probably not a very nice one, and if that clipboard is not signed off on hourly, I guarantee you get your ass roasted over the walkie-talkie.
Oh yeah. So everyone that's working hears it
for sure. Yeah. Like if you know you're on this SIL exhibit, you're like, damn, I need to make sure I sign off on that fucking clipboard so I don't get my ass roasted about it.
And she is like yelling at you through the walkie-talkie.
Yes.
Her hand is not on her hip, it's on her rib. Like she is.
Oh God. Yes.
And on her
She's
rib.
Pissed. Yeah.
I love the little details that we kind of just added, because before it was just like this little area and it was very open. Yeah, and we have these hoses.
Yeah, these are kind of like a mix of like workshop items too.
Yes.
I mean, I forget who does them all, but some of my favorite ones, like I love there's like some storage containers that are over here that were actually intended to be, we made those like really quick, just the little coolers right here. But these little storage, those took like 2 seconds. These were actually meant, I think these were, and I'm probably wrong, Mr. Dumbass maybe, but they initially had some like electrical signage on the front. We just took that electrical signage off and just used it as like a storage locker type situation. And you can, what I'm assuming would be like a Rubbermaid or something. You know what I mean?
Yep. And you can bet it's like going to be one of those things that we spam everywhere too. Like again.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah. For sure. So this is what I was saying earlier. Like you would have somebody up here that has a microphone for the speakers that are below you right now. So they'll be like throwing fish in and kind of explaining like their eating habits and the type of meals that they prepare for them and what's like beneficial and what they use for like enrichment foods and stuff like that. So but where they would be dropping them in, people are directly below you, seeing them snaggle it up underwater, which is cool. Yeah,
it is cool. I also have a fish feeder down there, but I don't think it works. Oh wait, yes it does. I see one floating.
Oh, cool.
That's so
I didn't know
cool. That's so cool to look at. They look real.
It just looks like shiners down there in the water.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I kind of look for that.
He's eating too. He's like, yum, yum,
right.
Yum.
Hopefully that happens when we're down there again.
So a lot of stuff coming. I mean, you can see how much we've spread out this green wall of shame back here. There is a ton of stuff that's going to be on the other side.
Yeah,
but we just can't show it yet, is all.
Yeah, and this landscaping and stuff will definitely make more sense too. Like ones that's up.
Get a close up of one of these little banner signs you made. I love those. So those are mostly the 2D letters, right?
Yeah, it's just the commas and like the periods.
Period poo.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I think we say it's like the vibe of like those takeout like cups like from the 90s.
Yes,
and
like,
still they have them.
Absolutely. Yep, it's like I can see it in my head. It's like purple, turquoise, and white.
Yep.
But we didn't want to completely rip it, but I love the little like the color scheme you have. It's like A, where did it come from, and B, like don't change a thing about it.
Right. Yeah, it's like not even the same colors as like the
not at all.
But it works.
Love it.
It works.
Yeah, sure does.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to this lower viewing area, which I'm very excited to show.
This is like 99% all you, and it is a maze.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of it is me.
I literally threw speakers down there, and that was it. I'm positive.
Like, yeah, I mean, I will say that like I really, really do love like exhibit design, and I don't even think that I know a crap ton about it. But it is really like one of my like things that I love doing in this game. And so like this was definitely fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell it looks like you took your time with it. It wasn't rushed at all.
Yeah.
And it turned out, I think, exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were saying earlier that this is kind of like a very narrow path, so you can kind of see why you would need the elevator too, like just to have a different way of like entering and exiting.
Yeah, just I mean, if space only permits like one area, sure, that's one thing, but it's always nice to have like multiple ways to get down to something like this. Totally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here is the bottom area of that elevator. And yeah,
love that you carried the arbor over here too. It looks cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I just figured like it was kind of a cool way to add some shade, I guess, which it's not really that much, but just some of that motif. Here's our underwater area, which I love. I love how this came out.
Yeah, this is so cool. This was, again, this was one of those things that I'm like, we definitely need to have it, but then I basically pulled a Remnant and put a like sign here like underwater viewing because I'm not doing it. I tried, and I think I spent like an hour trying to make something work, and I was just like, this ain't it.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. Like, and I don't know, like, well, you're probably like this too, but if I like start the game and like I'm even like the littlest hint of like tired or something, like I'm like, no, I can't do any.
Just don't even do it. Log off.
Right? Yeah. So this worked with what we wanted to do. With the underground viewing area. It's technically not underground. It's just kind of like dug out.
I love all the drains in the floor too.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, like a heavy rain, this area would hold water for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. That would be catastrophic.
Yeah, that would be not great.
Yeah.
And trust me, somebody who just went back to 1,000 square foot apartments, it cost me about $1,000. So
yeah, we were supposed to record yesterday. And
we sure were.
But it's okay. You had to do what you got to do, right?
Oh, there's the little fish feeder. That's so cool.
Right? That looks so cool.
That does. I had been wanting to try to like play with this just to see how it looked in game, and I mean, I'll be real with you, I forgot about it until now, and it looks like really cool.
Yeah, so over here we kind of added some like info signs, which was another.
Looks so cool.
Yeah, this was fun. Just like super simple. Obviously, like no like real text except for like the headers of each part. Just some ways that you can like, how can you help like conserve whatever.
Yeah, and don't throw your fucking like 6-pack holder rings or whatever they're called.
Right. Yeah.
Into the ocean.
The soda can rings or whatever.
Yeah, like don't do that.
Mm-hmm. I love these little like these decals, the signs of like the seals and the otters. I think they're so
they're
cute.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're so good.
This is from the same pack that we use the terrapins on the wall over there.
Yep.
This says conserve water, shower together.
Yes. Yeah, and then and what I love about this is like this maybe looks like they just repainted it, but that this would get so sun bleached.
Oh hell yeah.
From just being like and this would be like darker because it's kind of in the shade.
Exactly.
And this isn't, but
that the blue around that will be totally white in like 2 years time.
Yeah. And then to this side we have just another kind of like repetition of that motif that was on the actual like Pacific Point sign. And maybe nowadays in Twin Palms these would be completely off, like there would be no water.
Yep.
But we're just right now it's in its glory days. Okay, so we're just gonna pretend
we're rolling with the punches.
Yep.
Come 2015, they will definitely be off.
They will be off and completely dried out.
Yeah. Because we got fined by the state of California because of the water laws.
Yeah.
But I do love, I mean, I know you said it's kind of repetitive from what was there before, but I do love how this little fountain still has like its own identity too.
Yeah. I always think of like, with when I would go with like my family, like when I was really little, I was like, oh, stand in front of that and take a picture. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just like little cool things to interact with that are like really, and this is like kind of like artsy. Like they could have like hired like a local artist to sculpt these kind of things. So
yeah, for sure. Or maybe there was like maybe there's like a local college or something, and they did like the art class or whatever came and did an installation of this or something.
Yeah, or like that like specific like marine biology thing is like a sponsor or something, and they wanted to provide those, or I don't know.
We'll go back and throw like a placard on the rocks or something just to try to make it seem like that is what it is, because I think that's a pretty cool idea.
That would be awesome. Also, something that I like to do is this is just a raised gravel path. So this is like not a wall or anything. It's literally just putting
the in-game curb.
And it's nice. It saves a lot of time. It looks super cool. Yeah.
It would also be cool if this was like a coin like fountain where maybe like once a year they harvest all the coin out of it and it's like donated to like a ocean conservation or something.
Absolutely.
That would be cool. All in all, 10 out of 10 would recommend this
Yes.
little viewing area.
Yay. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite little areas too.
There's 2 of the 8 speakers that I placed down here, and that's all.
You did a lot more.
I don't know that I did.
You did this whole wall up here. You did these pillars.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did
What if I was like, so basically I did this whole area and just like took all the credit for it?
Yeah, so this is basically all you. No, dude, you
no, it was a team effort.
You did a lot. But I
great
will
work.
say, like, so I'll say, like, you know, the plaza that we did, that was definitely like 50-50 with both of us.
Yeah.
But I will say with some of the things that we're working on now, like, I will say that one of us, like either you or me, is taking the lead on certain things, and then we're just kind of going in and adding things, which I think is cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's not always going to be like, you know, super 50-50, which I think is cool to do.
Yeah, I mean, we have you and I for the most part. Actually, I wouldn't even say for the most part. You and I are on the same page for everything.
Yeah.
So it's like we have a full understanding that it's like if you see something, build off of it. Like worst case scenario, like we just realized that it looked better than it, you know, before than it did after adding like a couple of trees or whatever, and we just take them out. But we have like we fully like promote like a good like partnership to where it's like build off of this. Like,
yeah,
just because I've done it doesn't mean that you can't touch it. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, for sure. And I think that just like I think that we have like a mutual just respect for each other even outside of this game, that it also like helps out a lot too, to just like work together in that sense.
So one thing that is like kind of we should probably point out is this area that we're in is going to start to sprawl out a lot more from here.
Yeah.
Where we've mostly, for the most part, what they've seen so far, we've been building vertically from like the entrance plaza. We're going to start to branch off and hopefully make our way down to a big like grand finale for this park, which I think is going to be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that there's a lot more like unique things coming up with what we want to do.
Because even though we're putting this episode out now, this was, for the most part, like the bread and butter of what you're looking at was done a really long time ago.
Honestly.
And the design has grown since then. The ideas have grown since then. So it's going to look like, I think they're going to like what they see. This looks cool.
Yeah. I always like turning the... this is too much.
Should we pause for a thumbnail?
We should. It's fun, like looking at like the different lighting. Sorry, this.
Stop. Does that lighthouse light up?
The one in the
Oh my god, living, love it.
Yeah, I mean, I do need
gooped gagged.
Yeah, I mean, I do need to put actual lighting to go onto the sign. But it was kind of fun to put the actual like lighthouse and make it like light up.
Yeah, that's so cool. Good job, man.
So this, I mean, this just goes to show some of like the really great like vantage points that you have of this park, and like just how it looks at certain times of the day.
Every time I turn around, I see something that I'm like a view, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Right. So is that it basically for today? Is there anything else? Oh.
I think for don't go that way. I think for now this is pretty much it. And I was afraid that it wasn't going to be like a ton for an episode, but I mean, it just goes to show like we had a lot to show over here, and I didn't even realize it, you know what I mean, until we started walking through it together. So yeah, I mean, you and I have talked a ton. I mean, we've become very, very good friends. And one thing that I know for me, like I could never do is I couldn't be in like a collaboration where I need to like pump something out in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I could, but I wouldn't enjoy that. And it wouldn't be like my aesthetic that I enjoy doing in the game. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be able to commit to something that's that, you know, if you're on like a YouTube schedule.
And it wouldn't be fair. Yeah. And it wouldn't be fair to say yes, like knowing that you can't commit to it and just to end up letting the team down. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. This is basically it for this episode. This has been like one of the funnest areas I think to work on so far.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, it's always nice to put in like an actual exhibit, not something that's implied. So
yeah, it's definitely super satisfying, having stuff that is actually moving and using the exhibit.
Yeah.
But I think, like we said, like in these ones that the ones that we're going to be looking at in the future are definitely more implied, but at the same time we're able to be a little bit more creative with it. So yes.
And I think if you're a local and you've been to SeaWorld San Diego, you're really gonna appreciate specifically what you're working on. Because I haven't been there, but the more that I walk around the park, I'm like, holy shit, this is literally like exactly what he's doing, and it looks really, really cool.
Yay. No, thank you. And I think just 2020 like sucked, and all of these places are they closed, but I know that SeaWorld is open again. But at the same time, it's like, maybe just don't go to a theme park if you don't have to during a pandemic. So this is
that part,
right?
Yeah.
So this has kind of been a nice way to like be like, oh, I didn't get to go this summer, so it's kind of fun to just build it and
kind of scratch that itch, so to speak.
Yeah. So it's been fun. It'll be exciting when we can kind of like show off this observation tower and more stuff like that. I mean, this is very bare bones right now. Like, I just kind of plopped that there to kind of like show where it's going to be, but I'm excited. I'm so excited, dude, like for all the stuff that we're like going to show in the future. It'll be fun.
God, this place is huge.
I know. I'm out of breath.
Oh, right? I'm like, I'm not built for this.
Just climbed up a hill. Okay, so we are outside of the park now, and I mean, obviously you can see that observation tower, but like when you like really compress the Tejidcam view, it's so cool looking.
Oh my god, it looks amazing.
Right. I love
I mean, this, like I said, this park is like the gift that keeps on giving with sight lines and views and stuff. It's like everywhere you look, there's something.
That's very Full House of you to say.
Thanks.
It's been super fun, just like, and we're not even planning.
Oh my god, I just got what you were talking about.
I was wondering why you did
it. It's the theme song.
Yes.
I was like, I don't get it. Okay, I get it now.
Okay,
we're there.
Okay, good.
If you're trying to like perfectly place like a sight line, sometimes it's just better just to build and just take a step back and see what it looks like from a distance,
Gosh, it looks so cool.
It does. I mean, you can literally see that thing from anywhere, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because that is there so that you can, when you're up there, you can see everything. So
I would assume, I mean, this is starting to spread out like pretty well, and it could be easy to kind of get turned around, you know what I mean? But it's like, if you see the blue observation tower, you're like, okay, I know I can at least start walking that way, and I'll get back to somewhere that I recognize.
You just kind of know where you are based off of those sight lines, which I think is really cool.
Is that it? I think that's it.
I think that's it. Okay, so we will leave you with this kind of like awesome view and look into the glimpse into the future episode. I don't even think it's gonna be like it might be like the next 2 episodes, but
I was gonna say, this is like, we have just like scratched the surface on this area that's in the background, and I'm assuming by the time we show it off, it'll look totally different, but this kind of gives you an idea of what is to come, I guess.
Okay, well, I mean, do you have anything else?
Let me check my Palm Pilot. No, I do not.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for continuing to kind of join us on this journey of creating nostalgia, which is kind of like an added kind of challenge to this, is kind of like creating that. So we're super thrilled that you guys have been enjoying it, and we're excited to show you guys more. So thank you so much. The next episode will be on jAsh's channel, so please be sure to subscribe to him. I will have all that stuff in the description. But yeah, I'm not sure when that episode will be, but when it is here, it will be very worth it. Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye. That would be really cool too.
I felt that. Did you feel that? I got body chills.
Oh, I did.
Maybe I'm just running a fever.
Oh no, he has COVID.
Oh god.
Just kidding. Maybe that's
what if I started crying?
That's not good to joke about. Never mind.